Last year, we saw North Carolina and Villanova match up in the championship game, and after an almost impossible shot by Marcus Page, the Wildcats would come right back down the court as Chris Jenkins would hit the legendary shot which would secure Villanova's first national title since 1985. In this year's tournament, we would see a magical run from 7th-seeded South Carolina, who would begin their journey destroying the 10th-seeded Marquette 93-73. Then the 2nd-seeded Duke Blue Devils to advance to the Sweet 16, clamping down on the Baylor Bears 50-70 to reach the Elite Eight. And in the Elite Eight, a clutch defensive possession against Florida would help secure a 70-77 win to lead South Carolina to their first ever Final Four in school history. Meanwhile, in the West bracket, Gonzaga would own the 1 seed thanks to a one-loss season from the 2017 AP Coach of the Year, Mark Few. The Bulldogs entered the tournament with their only loss of the season on February 25th to BYU. In the first round, the Zags would face the 16th-seeded South Dakota State, defeating them 66-46. In the second round, a technical foul on Northwestern coach Chris Collins would help the Zags close the deal over Northwestern to reach the Sweet 16. In the Sweet 16, a clutch three by Jordan Matthews with under a minute to play would propel the Bulldogs to a 3-point win over West Virginia. In the Elite Eight, the Zags would play a surprise team in the 11th-seeded Xavier, who they would destroy 83-59 to advance to their first Final Four in school history. Facing another team coming into their first ever Final Four, the 7th-seeded South Carolina. Nigel Williams-Goss would lead the way for the Bulldogs, scoring 23 points, leading Gonzaga to a 9-point halftime lead, stretching their lead to as much as 14 points. But South Carolina would make a run in the second half to tie the game with 7 minutes remaining, but it would be the Gonzaga Bulldogs who would close out the game 77-73 and advance to their first ever national championship game.
It's ball game. Gonzaga is going to be playing Monday night for the national championship.
On the other side of the bracket, North Carolina would start their journey to redeem their loss from last season, starting as a 1 seed in the South region against 16th-seeded Texas Southern, rolling 103-64. In the second round, the Tar Heels would win comfortably over the 8th-seeded Arkansas to advance to the Sweet 16. The Butler Bulldogs would be the opponent in the Sweet 16, but they would fare no better against the Tar Heels, going down 92-80. In the Elite Eight, the Tar Heels would face a talented team in the Kentucky Wildcats, where a walk-on talent, Luke May, would write his name in history with the game-winning shot as time expired. As North Carolina would roll to the Final Four, where they would face the 3rd-seeded Oregon Ducks. This game would come down to the wire, with Justin Jackson scoring 22 points, but it would be Kennedy Meeks who would be the hero of this game with 25 points and 14 rebounds, and a clutch late offensive rebound for the Tar Heels after 4 straight missed late free throws. Meeks would help the Tar Heels grab the late rebound and run out the clock to lead the Tar Heels to their 2nd straight title game. And in the title game, Gonzaga and North Carolina would square off for the crown, with the Gonzaga Bulldogs grabbing the lead early with a 3-point lead at halftime. But in the second half, Joel Berry II and the Tar Heels would turn up their offense and defense, holding the Zags to 30 points in the second half, as Joel Berry II would get going in the second half, scoring 22 points and 6 assists, as the game would be close to the very end. But the Tar Heels big men would help secure the game with a clutch bucket made by Isaiah Higgs, And great defense by Kennedy Meeks on Nigel Williams-Goss on one of the final plays. The Tar Heels would run out the clock and defeat the Gonzaga Bulldogs in the championship game 65-71, claiming their spot at the top and securing Tar Heels coach Roy Williams with his third national championship in an epic tournament run. What was your favorite moment from this year's tournament? Leave it in the comment section below. But until next year's tournament, it's been your boy, Johnny Walker LA, and I'm out.